Hi friends, how are you? I hope you guys are all doing really well now that we're all back at home for online learning for a bit. Today we are going to talk about my favorite artist of all time. And I probably say that a lot, but I really like Christopher Marley because he doesn't like to waste. So he uses objects in real life that were once living for his artwork so that we can all appreciate them for a very long time. Okay, so we are going to talk a little bit about his artwork. We're going to talk about symmetry and radial symmetry and bilateral symmetry, which I know is a lot of words, but you guys will see what I mean when I share my PowerPoint with you. Then we are going to do a little bit of drawing today, and I also have a super secret art way that you could do at home. Okay, so it's a way to paint at home without paint and only using markers. So if you have markers at home, just like this, so they could be the thick markers or the thin markers, you could use those and water, and I'm going to show you how to do that at the very end of my video, so keep watching, okay? All right, so I am going to share my screen so that you can see my PowerPoint. All right. So you should all be able to see my screen. However, all right, so you should be able to see my awesome PowerPoint, okay? So this is Christopher Marley's artwork. As you can see in the picture, it looks like something, and if you're really looking, it is insects. So it is beetles that you see. And this artist uses real bugs, so it's not a painting, it's not a drawing, it is real insects. It's kind of crazy. I know a lot of people are afraid of insects, and Christopher Marley said that he used to be afraid of insects, but now he just respects them and all of their beauty. Now, here in Ohio, we don't see a lot of rainbow beetles, do we? No, a lot of these insects are from the rainforest in places like South America or in certain parts of Africa or Asia. There's a lot of different kinds of beetles out there that we will probably never see. So he brings these insects so that we can see them in real life and respect them and enjoy their beauty. All right, so here's another one of his artworks. And as you can see, he doesn't just throw bugs onto a canvas and say, ta-da, that's artwork. He takes his time. He chooses insects that all fit within this circle for this artwork. And he's very specific on what he picks and how he places them. Now here's another one. So these are a very beautiful type of butterfly that we've probably never seen here in Ohio, but they're almost see-through in a way, and they're kind of this metallic, opal-y color. And he found a whole bunch of them and put them on this white kind of canvas in a very specific way. So let's talk about insects and what makes an insect. So insects have a head, a thorax, and an abdomen. Now, there are different types of insects, such as spiders, which are actually arachnids, and they are a little bit different because they have 8 legs, but usually bugs such as beetles have 6 legs. Now, in this picture, the legs of these beetles are tucked under, but you can see their pinchers. And he arranged them in a very specific way so that it kind of looks like a diamond shape. And you can really respect these beetles and their very strong pinchers because that's what he is emphasizing in his artwork. Now here's some pictures of Christopher Marley, and he is an artist that is living today. So he's making artwork right now as we speak. And a lot of his artwork is on display currently. And as you can see, he is kind of working on those butterflies right now in this picture. And here's another picture of Christopher Marley working on one with sharks. So he doesn't only use insects, he uses all different kinds of creatures that have passed away. And he's very respectful of them, and he preserves them so that we can always see them and enjoy them and look at his beautiful artwork. I love this picture because you get to see the artwork that's usually hanging on a wall kind of three-dimensional, so you can see how it sticks up a little bit. Now let's talk about texture a little bit too, because all insects have a different type of texture. Now butterfly wings have kind of a powdery texture. That's why we don't really touch them, because it helps them fly. But this insect right here, I could not believe that this was real. I thought he painted it, or it was something crazy, or it was fake, but this is a real insect that you could find in nature. Unfortunately not in Ohio, but it's still a real insect. So the texture on this one, how would you describe that? So I'm going to think about that for a little bit and tell me how you would describe that. Now, let's talk about the composition. So the composition is just a fancy word for how he arranges his insects. So this shows symmetry. So symmetry is something we've been learning about when we were talking about our butterflies a couple weeks ago. And symmetry is when it's the same on both sides. And radial symmetry. So when I think of the word radial, it's a hard word. I don't expect you to remember it, but radial symmetry means it kind of goes around in a circle, like a radius. Like, yeah, just like that. So he is very specific about which bugs he puts where. So if you look at the top, it's the same bug, different bug, but the same type of bug as the bottom and the two sides. Okay, so everywhere you look in the circle, it's kind of the same, like a wheel, okay? Now, here's some of his other artwork. Here is him next to some of the fish that he has preserved. So I love these because I really love fish. You guys, some of you guys know this when we do our art show at the end of the year. And these are just absolutely beautiful. They're all real. And look at this one. Here is a student looking at his artwork up close. These are chameleons, real chameleons that have passed away that he used for his artwork. So these are super cool. I love these. Look at how their little tails are still wrapped around. I just think that is so cool. So as I was saying, symmetry around the central axis, so the point in the middle, like a starfish or a tulip flower, or just like the flower you see right here, that is radial symmetry. And then regular symmetry, sometimes I call it bilateral symmetry, which I know is a big word, so I don't expect you to remember it, is just where it's the same on both sides, okay? All right, so that is all I have for that. So now you should just be able to see my face again, okay? So Christopher Marley, he is a great artist. He is incredible. He's very famous right now. And I'm really excited to share with you guys. Now, if we ever come back to school, I would love to make some of the insects with you guys and be able to display it. But we're going to work with what we have, and we are just going to draw a couple insects today. Okay? So, what I am going to do, oops, let's see. I am going to pull up my document camera so that we can draw our insects together, okay? So I'm gonna open my document camera. Just taking a second. It's loading, and I'm going to switch to my document camera. All right, so you should be able to see right now my hand. And let me flip the camera. All right, sorry friends, it is taking me a second today. Don't know what's going on, so it is upside down. All right. let me put it back to this, and then I am going to open my document camera this way. It is not working, so I'm going to just try it again. All right, friends, I have my video ready now. So I am going to start by drawing my insect. So to begin, I would like to draw a beetle. So when I go to draw a beetle, I think about the different parts, the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. Okay, so when I'm drawing a beetle, I can start with, I'm going to start with just kind of a normal beetle. So to begin, I can start with the abdomen because I think that's a little bit easier. Just like this. Okay, sorry if it's a little bit hard to see. Then I could come in and make kind of the thorax part. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect since all beetles are a little bit different. And then the head, which is a little bit smaller. So that's pretty much a good base for all of the insects that you could draw, okay? Then I'm gonna come up here and make some antenna. Make sure it's kind of the same on both sides. Then I could add my 6 legs. So usually it has a leg coming out of the top part. And it's the same on this side. And then a leg coming out of the middle right here. And then they have one leg that usually comes back like this. And this one sometimes they call it a jointed leg because it has a little joint right here. So it can bend. Okay. All right. Now for my insect, let me fix that for you guys. I can start to draw and color on it, but I'm going to show you a little bit of a trick. So when I use markers like this, if I get some water, so I just have some water in a cup right here, and usually like a paintbrush or something like that, first I can color. So I'm going to show you down here what I would do to decorate my insect. So I'm just going to show you with my marker. So this is pink, and then I'm just going to dip my finger in it just a little bit because I don't have a paintbrush right now. And a lot of us might not have a paintbrush at home. And I can add, look at what happens. It turns into paint. So it could be a little bit hard to see right now, but I could add texture with my finger. I could add different colors. I can dip my finger in the water and look, it turns into paint. And I just think that is one of the coolest things ever. Especially since we're at home and I know a lot of us don't have access to paint. So if I want to make my beetle a really pretty color, you got to be careful if you use this line though, in marker. So I would probably do it in crayon first and then come in with the marker so that it doesn't bleed. So let's start with green, then add just a little bit of water, smooth it with my finger, and I just created a paint with my fingers. Isn't that just so cool? And maybe I'll do red on the other side. Now, of course, if you have a paintbrush, definitely use it. It'll help. But if you do not, look at what else you could do. And I can mix my colors. How cool is that? I love it. And I could even take it up here. How cool, okay? So there are some examples of what you can do at home by drawing your insects. And this, if I cut it down the middle, is the same as the other side. So that is my symmetry that we were learning about, okay? So we learned about Christopher Marley, we learned about symmetry, we learned about how insects are, we learned a lot today. So go on Seesaw, do your Seesaw work, and try to join me on my live Zoom as well. Okay, guys, I will see you later. You've all done a great job listening to my whole video, and I hope you enjoy the painting with your finger. Send me a picture on Seesaw or Dojo so that I can see if you did it, okay? Because I don't know if you do it or not, so I want you to go ahead and send me a picture or a video, okay? I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.